Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. And I'm very glad to have you back on the channel as we have a very interesting subject today. The subject for today is the calm before the storm. I think it's a very catchy title, but more importantly, it's just the subject that I think most people are thinking about right now. Are we at a bottom? Are we at a top? What's happening? Today is so extremely calm. Take a look at this. The entire crypto market today has just been in a standstill. Minus one, minus one, minus one, zero. That's USDT or USDC, minus two. And this is actually only like the last hour and a half because before, when I uploaded the screenshot over onto Twitter, everything is at the minus 0 point something, 0.5 or so. And that's not something you see too often in the crypto space. It's just extremely quiet. Having said that, in reality, this entire week here in this time is all but quiet. Take a look at what I just posted over on Twitter, which makes me think, if you're not following me over on Twitter just quite yet, I'll leave a link down below to my Twitter. You guys should follow it and check it out. Major Bitcoin reversal could be around the corner. Now, partially, I am basing this upon the Bitcoin price, as again, you guys can clearly see here, it's looking as if we have a perfect bottom here, a perfect support line being hit. And there's a very high probability that we're just going to bounce right back up. But it's backed up by a little bit more than that. There's tomorrow a very important vote happening. If you don't know, make sure you do your own due diligence, of course, in this. But I've actually covered it before already on the channel. Take a look. Just in, the EU to vote over a crypto proof of work ban on Monday. The bill allowing European Parliament to ban cryptocurrencies using the proof of work mining, include Bitcoin, has made its way back into the draft. So, little trivia is there was a ban on the way, which basically would make it kind of impossible to mine, but it would basically also put some really heavy pressure on any proof of crypto themselves. It was reversed, so it was kind of taken out. But now, all of a sudden, the last 24 hours, everybody's talking about the fact that it's actually been put back in, and the vote is going to be tomorrow. As per the latest reports, the EU Parliament will vote over it on Monday. Earlier, the bill was removed from the Markets in Crypto Assets (MiCA) proposal, facing backlash from the crypto community. But apparently, they'll vote on two proof-of-work ban bills. Patrick Hansen, head of strategy and growth, I hope you guys can see it properly, but I think it will be good, at Unstoppable Finance, dropped some important updates regarding the addition of the bill. He informed that there are two alternative bills that will be presented in the parliament. However, only one of them will make it to the regulation. Crypto assets shall be subject to minimum environmental sustainability standards with respect to their consensus mechanism used for validating transactions before being issued, offered, or admitted to trading in the union, reads the draft. Now, crypto assets that are issued, offered, or admitted to trading in the union before, please insert the date of entry into force of regulation, shall set up and maintain a phased rollout plan to ensure compliance with such requirements in accordance with the conditions and criteria referred to in paragraph 3, draft added. There's actually a very big debate about this over on Twitter, but just understand that tomorrow is going to be a very heavy-hitting day, and the entire crypto community is hopefully focusing on this because, well, this is all happening amidst the whole Russia-Ukraine situation. I would say that has quite a lot to do with it because I would say that entire situation has put a lot more pressure onto crypto regulation now, either because they have started to use it or also because, well, they have to make sure that the sanctions are properly followed up on or followed through. Having said that, the energy footprint, man, do I hear a lot about that recently as well, but I digress. If you're wondering, will this be bad for crypto? It depends. It really depends on what is going to happen tomorrow. Patrick Hansen has suggested that since it's a last-minute addition to the bill, the members can vote in its favor. However, he also expects that it will be dropped in the future in the upcoming trilogue negotiations. So it's not bad just quite yet. It depends a little bit on how the outcome is going to look like tomorrow, but then there's also some other options, I would say, to kind of get it out again, so I'm not really too worried about it. I would kind of compare it to the US, where they put a couple of different negative crypto announcements in the bill, the big infrastructure bill. And then everybody said, well, it'll take a couple of years to get into effect anyway. It'll most likely be amended in that time. Then again, that is not the only major news we have for today. Or not today, I guess I should say the entire week. The Federal Reserve is expected to raise interest rates in the week ahead as Ukraine crisis adds volatility. I mean, taking a look at the Bitcoin price, we're not really seeing that volatility just quite yet. I guess you can actually say we need to start seeing it because it's been really boring. Over in the stock market, there has actually been quite a significant amount of volatility. I even just described to you guys that because these were all doing so bad recently, there's actually, let's just relate it back to this old stock market, or I should say Federal Reserve type of news. I actually just noticed my iPad is really messing up a little bit, so Federal Reserve expected to raise interest rates in the week ahead as Ukraine crisis adds volatility. The Federal Reserve first increase in interest rates since before the pandemic was well broadcast, and markets have little reaction in this if the central bank carries out its quarter-point hike like this Wednesday. Investor focus remains on Ukraine, which continued to rattle markets in the past week, creating volatile swings in oil, sending stocks lower. And the Fed's rate hike is expected, but investors will be watching to see what the central bank has to say about inflation and the economy, as well as its projections for future rate hikes. And so, straight to the bat here, I'm thinking, wow. So if these guys published this on Friday, stocks reacted really bad against it, what is going to happen to stocks over on Monday? As again, it has some time to settle in. Everybody knows about it now. And it's going to happen then in about 2 days, potentially. And I also wonder, is the market going to react in a buy the rumor, sell the news type of manner where it's basically been priced in? Because we all understand there's massive inflation and eventually there's going to be a lot of interest rate hikes. Or is it going to be a scenario of it still hits the market by surprise? Or the number was still higher than expected, or we're not going to see it maybe on Wednesday? That pressure, that I think is going to have a very important effect in the market. And that's again why we're expecting volatility. We're not so sure if it's going to be a breakdown because of all this negativity or a crazy bounce back up, making a nice little reversal here. It is going to be a very interesting thing to see. Just for fun here, before we move on with one of my articles that I really want to show you guys, take a look at this. And guys, make sure you press that like button if you've been watching the channel for a little while, just to help out the video, but also, this is so fun to me. So I actually put these things into the chart a very long while ago. I'm going to say it's been over a year. I think might even almost be 2 years now that we put this in. And what we've actually done is, I'm going to say it's been a little bit more than a year actually, is we basically put some price action from Bitcoin in the past and we portrayed it over on the future basically. So we took, again with one of the tools from TradingView here, the bars pattern, we took some price action from the past Bitcoin, I would say the 2019 price action, and we portrayed it on 2020. And the fun part about it is, again, it didn't really line up perfectly in the way I wanted it to, but we were kind of hoping like, oh, Bitcoin's going to go crazy, haha. We were doing that for fun to 120,000, but it's actually really interesting to see how far Bitcoin has come ever since we were jokingly doing this a couple of years ago, you know? And that's, again, one of the most fun parts about crypto as well. The reason I'm calling this all calm before the storm, there's a couple of sides to it, but that also has to do with the fact that you really aren't seeing a lot until it's actually happening. And with the storm, it's like, well, you don't really expect it to happen. It's just calm. You're just chilling. And all of a sudden, bam, big storm, big panic, big troubles, big things. It really happened in the same, it came in like a flash before. Now, here's an article I want to share, case, and it's actually having to do with Apple's co-founder, Steve Wozniak. He thinks Bitcoin is going to 100,000. I personally think the title that I put this video as, I'm not sure what's going to be, relates to XRP, altcoins as a whole, and Bitcoin, everything. XRP, I would say, because, well, right now, even though the loss is going so well, things are actually kind of quiet with the price. But at one point or another, it's just going to spike out of proportion, I think. for Bitcoin because the predictions are ridiculously high. I would say the majority of people in this space have high expectations and regulations are coming in properly. Everything is doing good, but the price, not so much. It's actually staying quite stable. In that regard, I'm also thinking it's going to just be a bam at one of these points, or potentially just because the bottom of the channel has been hit. In terms of the entire crypto market, I would say that we're still following Bitcoin, which is one of the main reasons I see Bitcoin as the most important asset to cover on YouTube, Twitter, whatnot. If you guys disagree with that, if you're, for example, full XRP fan, ETH fan, Matic fan, whatever, I personally still think it always relates back to Bitcoin. It's going to decide where we go. I'm a Bitcoin holder. I'm excited about Bitcoin. And any person who's really against it, from some way I understand. Because Bitcoin is not the fastest, not really good in any way, shape, or form in almost anything, but it's still the majority of the market. And it's foolish, in my opinion, to bet against the market itself. Something you can do, but it's not something that I think is the best thing to do, for at least for being correct most of the time. Now, when Steve Wozniak, co-founder of Apple, says he thinks it's going to go to 100,000, I think we're all on the same page here, that we're all thinking, well, Bitcoin goes to 100,000. We're all on the same page. We think, yeah, it could definitely happen. Where would altcoins go then, though? Where would they go? And I personally think they're going to go way crazier. Maybe not higher because, what is the price? But I'm talking percentage-wise. You're going to have the craziest of rallies because Bitcoin goes up first, but then altcoins way outperform eventually. And that's honestly what I'm expecting right now, again, for altcoins to go way out of proportion, destroy everything, just go rampant. We just need that first propellant. We just need Bitcoin to start rising. And again, I just named a couple of different reasons and things as to why it could happen. Proof of work vote, going to be extremely important. It's negative in nature, but it's important. The stock market opening after heavy losses on Friday, we got this expectation from the interest rate, but also just some people are going to say we're going to close the gap again, meaning we're going to bounce back up quickly. It's not something you can rely on, but it's something to keep in your head. Extremely low volatility over the weekend. Sometimes an indicator of a very big first opening day again. Once the week, I would say the week opens again, so the weekend is over. Because a lot of the firms, they're just not trading in the weekend. Potential interest rate increase upcoming, and the bottom of the triangle support has been hit. That's some stuff that I think is very important in the near future. Just wanted to quickly share that with you guys. Do with it as you please. Again, if you're investing into crypto, of course, do your own due diligence, but I personally think it is the future. And so, yeah, I got my bags full. I got my bags full for sure, and I'm excited about everything.